turned up in my local motorcycle store shop, Marietta Motorsports, up at Cobb Parkway, and I was up there to actually sell another motorcycle of mine, the Suzuki GSXS 1000. You guys might be familiar with it, but that bike's gone. And while I was there doing the deal on that bike, doing the paperwork on that bike, I spotted this across the showroom floor and asked them, what's the deal with that bike? And they said it's been sitting in there for a while, like a month. Nobody, people walking right by this thing. I said, what? And I was like, well, let's talk about it. Before you know it, I was bringing my other Tuono up there for an inspection and trade-in value. They gave me $9,500 on my 2018 with 18,000 miles on it, on this bike, which is a 2019 Aprilia Tuonofactory Summit Attack, limited edition, 1 of 24, and it had 5,400 miles on it. So there's the story behind it. 2 days later, I had this bad boy in the back of my truck, leaving for Lithonia and bringing it home. And let me hop off here and show you what we're working with, guys. And it needs gas. We are working with this. Behold, everyone, 2019 Aprilia Tuono Factory 1100. It's actually 1077 cc's. It's got great crash protection it came with, as you can see. It's got these grips on the tank. I'm gonna keep all this stuff on here. You know, normally I buy a bike and I was like, how can I change it? But when you look at it, everything that was done to it, I would do. I just feel like it's perfect. It was a perfectly modified bike. It's got these carbon CRG levers. They are so light. You can feel how light they are under your fingertips. All 3 bulbs here are LED, which is a great touch. It's already got the Puig windscreen on it for added wind protection when I'm tucked on the back straight of Road Atlanta. It's got full electronic suspension, front and rear, as you can see, denoted by these little wires coming out. You can switch the suspension from firm to soft, which I was just playing with. I've cleaned up the chain. I have removed the fuel canister that's right here, the evap canister that goes right in this space. It's like a black tube. That was removed. And I also removed the little valve motor thing here that opens and closes the exhaust valve. That was still hooked up and on here, and there's no need for it because this has the racing map on it, due to it has the racing exhaust on it. And because of that, when you flash it and put that racing map on there, it no longer recognizes that little device. So it's just a waste of space and weight. So it came off last night. So anyway, guys, here it is. 2019 top of the line dream machine for me. I never imagined I would own one of these when they first came out. I said, oh, there's only 25 of them. So 25 really lucky people are going to own this machine, and I'll just be watching from the sidelines as they, you know, own them, and they show up from time to time. But here you go, one showed up and I actually was able to buy it. So that's it, guys, for today. It's a short video. I'm really excited this morning about or this afternoon about this ride. It's going to be very enjoyable. I'm already liking what I feel, and yeah, I will be back with more videos, a lot more videos on this bike. But now I've got to put in gas, and people are staring at me, and you know, it's always a spectacle when you try to film. So thanks again. This is Ant-Man Moto here with the brand new to me Tuono 1100 V4 Factory Summit Attack. And as you can see, denoted right there, number 24 of 25. It is a beautiful day. Okay guys, as I was getting set up here, I noticed something I love about this already. I don't know if the previous owner did this or if the guys at AF1 did it or if Aprilia has done it, but the gas hole that you fill up is much bigger. It's a much bigger hole, much easier to put gas in. So this is a huge benefit right here. I can't tell you the amount of times I've shot fuel all over the top of my last Tuono 1100, my 2018 RR, the standard model, because of that little tiny hole. And the tiny hole has a little, like, it's like a bowl that goes down into the tank with a small hole in the middle for the gas to go through. And if you get outside of that little hole, then it just runs up the side of the bowl and just shoots out like a fountain. This bike does not have that, as you can see. That is fantastic. It does not have a fuel gauge though. That is another thing about this bike that people complained about. I not being one of them, because I don't need a fuel gauge. As long as it has this thing, yeah, see, 54, 59 miles. As long as it has this thing, boop, reset the trip meter to 0. That's all you need. I mean, why the heck do you need a fuel gauge? I don't care. You know I've got about 120 miles before the fuel light comes on, give or take. And that's all I need to know. I don't need a fuel gauge to tell me that. So, everyone that complains about a fuel gauge, that's some bizarre stuff to me. Okay, we're gonna hit some local twisties, and you know, we'll see what we feel. I love the way this bike feels. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. I love it. It feels like my old one, but it just feels a little bit different. You know, my old one, I knew it very well. I'd spent 2 years on that bike almost. This thing has really good brakes. Well, mine did too. I feel like the steering on this is not quite as sharp. Like right there, I felt like I almost ran wide. Like, I mean, the suspension has not been set for me at all. I don't know what the suspension is on this. Like, you know, there's 3 different automatic settings. I don't know. I looked at them and it was just zeros. Well, I think once you get used to it, then it's no problem. It's just a feel thing, you know, but like the way I have it set, I just have to remember it's not my bike. I also feel like the front end of this bike is up higher than my other bike. You know what I mean? Like I have this feeling like my ass is down low. I need to find out what are the fork settings, fork height settings on this bike. Is it 2 rings or 3 rings? Because the forks were not lined up perfectly. You know, the fork lines, you could tell that the height was kind of toyed around with a little bit maybe. And they might have just, whoa. ABS on? Felt like I just skidded. This is all new stuff, man. God damn it. This is the road that I've almost been like hit on twice now. Whoa! I'm telling you, I'm just trying to get used to the feel. There's differences. I can't really put it into words. But my tuono, I just knew it, like without thought. This, obviously, because the suspension is different, it's not set for me. It's electronic suspension. That's probably screwing with my brain, you know, and it's making me think things. And they may be real, or they may be just placebo or imaginary, but it definitely doesn't feel exactly like my bike. But I know the bars are positioned exactly like mine were on my 18, because I was very meticulous about how I had those bars positioned, so I know exactly how to do it. With me, riding is like, the bars is such a huge part of the feel of the bike, you know, and I obsessed over it quite a bit. It was an unhealthy amount of obsession, actually. I'm not proud of it. All right, do you like it, guys? Do you like the sound? I actually have the baffle in on this bike. This actually has the insert in, and I kind of like the way it sounds. It's definitely quieter than my Leo Vinci was. My Leo Vinci was wide open, and you know, you could hear it, you could feel it in your diaphragm. This bike, when I started it, I listened to it, I was like, oh, it's quiet. And it was like, yeah, because it's got the insert in it. And I was like, ah, okay. That makes all the difference in the world. I don't mind it, though. This bike actually turns really well, like in low speed turning. Feels really good. Now, this road's bumpy. And another thing I'm being cautious of, guys, is deer. I never used to worry about them. But now you just see dead ones everywhere. They're like all over the place. So I'm just gonna like take it easy through here. You know, normally I won't say normally. There's times where I get the urge to just rip through here, but this is not one of them because of the time of year it is and all these damn deer. Damn deer! I just want to say thank you to the universe and God and Jesus and Jehovah and Jah and Allah and Buddha and all the other gods that reside over us humans, and just thank any and all of them that were responsible for me being able to get this bike. I am so thankful to have this machine and to be riding it right now. It's like it's a fantasy. It's a dream for me to own this machine. Brian Whipple, BWhip, when he got his back in 2019, when these things were new, and he was having it tricked out at the Santa Monica Moto Club, and Victor and those guys, they were the ones who did his bike for him, and I was like, man, look at how awesome that's going to be. Look at how awesome that's going to be, you know, is what I thought. And I would go back and forth to that thread and just look at it and see where he was riding. He takes great pictures, so, you know, if you want to go to the AF1 forum, you can go to the AF1 forum and look up Summit Attack. Just search Summit Attack, and his thread will come up. It's probably one of the first things you'll see because it's a really popular thread, and you'll see his pictures. He posts some beautiful pictures, and you know, when he received the bike and just some of the places he's gone. And you know, he's like me, he puts it in his truck and takes it to the area you're going to ride and then goes riding. And yeah, I would just fantasize through that thread about this bike. Here I am 2 years later and I've got one. Like, what? I actually have one. I would look at that thread just as like a fantasy, you know. It's like looking at, you know, Valentino Rossi practicing at the ranch. I don't think I'm gonna actually be at the ranch practicing with Valentino Rossi though, but I still watch it because it's like a dream. It's like, oh my God, can you imagine like doing that? And that's how I felt about this bike. Like, can you imagine owning that, being one of the 25 people to have that bike? And I am. So I don't know how to state it more than that this is just the most special moment to me in my motorcycling life that I'm living right now, and I'm sharing with my channel, is this moment of riding the Summit Attack number 24 out here. Even though the roads are partly damp, I don't care. I just had to get it out and try to bond with it, try to get an understanding of it. But over the next coming months, you know, especially when it warms up, like after my birthday, Lord willing, I will be doing track days and mountain rides, and this is my only bike right now, so all of my content moto related is going to be on this bike. So you'll see a lot of this machine over the next coming year. If you're interested in a Summit Attack, Tuonofactory Summit Attack, if this bike interests you, subscribe to my channel, because you will see it and hear it a lot. Thanks for hanging out with Ant-Man Moto, and thanks for, you know, just being a part of my channel. And if you enjoy Aprilia Tuono footage, here you go. This is it. You're here because I'm an Aprilia fanboy. I love this bike, and I haven't said it out loud yet, but I'll let you in on a secret. I'm probably going to be getting a Gen 1 Tuono this coming year for a second bike, because I've always wanted one of those, just the Gen 1 base model Tuono, not the racing. The early version of this bike was called a racing, not a factory, and you know, that would be great. But just a base model Tuono, like that magnet gray color, I'm gonna have one of those hopefully this year coming up. So thanks for hanging out. I love you, and see you in the next video. Peace.